Reed. At second base, number 22, Jeremiah Philly. At shortstop, number 8, Jackson Hines. Over at first base, number 9, Luke McCurry. Designated hitter, number 2, Luke Hairston. Pitching for the Billies, number 18, John Luke Brotherton. In right field, number 11, Tanner Lloyd.
That's all I can do. That's all I can do.
All right. Opening day for Camden Fairview Cardinal baseball here from Monticello, Arkansas. Camden Fairview versus the Monticello Billies. With Zach Moorhead to lead it off here for the Cardinals. First pitch to Moorhead outside for ball one. And that pitch finds the edge of the plate. Brings the count to 1 ball, 1 strike. Zach Moorhead will be on the mound to start the game for the Cardinals here tonight from Monticello. Here comes the pitch, fouled back out of play. A 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cardinal leadoff man Zach Moorhead. John Luke Brotherton on the mound for the Monticello Billies. Gets his sign, kicks, delivers that ball just on the outside edge of the plate. Runs the count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. No outs here, top of the first inning. Zach Moorhead leading it off for the Cardinals. Beautiful opening day for baseball here on March the 2nd. And that one up. Moorhead checks his swing, runs the count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Zach Moorhead, Jack Jeffers, Mariuzzi, your top 3 to start off the game. Here comes the pitch from Brotherton, and Zach hits that one up the middle. Going to be fielded by their shortstop over to first and in time for out number 1. Fielded by Hines over there at shortstop, and throw in time to the first baseman, Jack Jeffers, now the hitter for the Cardinals. And that pitch outside hits the fence. 1 ball, no strikes. Brotherton gets the sign. He pitches that one at the hands. May have been a little inside as well. 2 balls, no strikes to Jack Jeffers. Kick and delivery. Jeffers hits that one high in there, left field. It's going to be foul, and I believe out of play. I'm not able to see the entire foul pole or the foul territory over here in the left field from where I'm sitting, but I believe that one did get out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. The kick and the delivery from Brotherton. That one, a little bit of chin music, and Jeffers turns out of the way. 3 balls, and 1 strike. And fouls that one back and runs the count full, 3-2 now to the Cardinal shortstop, Jack Jeffers. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. Jeffers hits that one hard. Gonna bounce out into left field for a base hit, and that gets the Cardinals going here in the first inning. Mariuzzi now your batter for the Cardinals. 1 away, Jack Jeffers at first for the Cardinals. And Utzi fouls that one back to the fence. No balls and 1 strike to Mariuzzi playing left field tonight for the Cardinals, over where Zach Moorhead normally starts in left field. A little shift around this afternoon. Here is that first or second pitch to Maury, and that's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And runner goes. Maury fouls that one over down the first base side. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Jack Jeffers makes his way back down to first base. Hit and run. Looked like it was on there. Maury just couldn't get it in play. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away. Cardinals trying to get something going here early in the ball game. And that one outside. Runner goes, and the throw down to second base, not in time, and Jack Jeffers has a stolen base. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Maury Utze. Runner now in scoring position for the Cardinals. Jack Jeffers down at second base. Brotherton kicks and delivers, and that one's going to, oh, wow. Drop third strike on an outside pitch. Maury Utze thrown out at first, but Jack Jeffers does make his way over to third base. DH Peyton Schroeder now up for the Cardinals. Jack Jeffers stands at third base, 90 feet away from scoring a Cardinal run here in the top of the first inning. First pitch to Schroeder in for a strike. And that pitch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals threatening here early. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. And Cardinals with a runner at third base. Peyton Schroeder trying to get him across home plate here. Here's the pitch, and Schroeder hits that one out into right center field, just over the glove of the second baseman, and that's going to score Jack Jeffers, and the Cardinals go up 1-0. Brings Drew Bostic to the plate. Two-away runner at first base for the Cardinals. 1 run across. That pitch low and away. One ball, no strikes. Drew Bostic at the plate. Peyton Schroeder stands at first with an RBI single. That one high and tight. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes to the Cardinal catcher, Drew Bostic. And here comes Brotherton to the plate, and big swing through that one. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that curveball gets him, and now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Same thing. Swings through that one for the strikeout and ends the inning for the Cardinals. But they get 1 across on a single by Peyton Schroeder. They leave 1 on base. Going to the bottom of the first, Camden Fairview 1, Monticello on the way to the plate. All right, TK Hoover to lead it off for Monticello here in bottom of the first inning. Camden Fairview ahead 1-0. Zach Moorhead on the mound for the Cardinals. Drew Bostic behind the plate. Aiden Zimmerman gets the start at first base. Elijah Scantling at second. Jack Jeffus, shortstop. Jackson Wilson over at third base. First pitch a little outside. Ball one. Left field, Mariuzzi. Center field, Brody Dow. Right field, Charlie Lewis. And that's how they're set up for the Cardinals here on defense. And that pitch hit into right field. Elijah Scantling goes out and makes the catch in shallow right field. And two pitches, one out here in the bottom of the first inning for Monticello. Luke Reed, the left fielder, is your batter now for Monticello. One away here in the bottom of the first inning. Zach Moorhead kicks, delivers, and Reed swings through that pitch for strike number one. Here comes the pitch from Moorhead. That one again hit over into right field. Coming on, Charlie Lewis for the catch. And out number two. So 2 up, 2 down. And that's going to bring the second baseman. Second baseman Jeremiah Philly up now for Monticello. 2 away here, bottom of the first inning. Cardinals leading at 1-0. That pitch in the dirt from Zach Moorhead for ball number one. All right, here comes the delivery from Moorhead. That one low and away, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes to the Monticello Billy's second baseman, Jeremiah Philly. And he hits that one into short center field. Brody Dow coming on, fighting the sun, and makes the catch. So 3 up, 3 down for Monticello. All right, leading it off for the Cardinals, the top of the second inning is Elijah Scantling. Cardinals lead it 1-0 here in the ballgame. First pitch to Scantling in for strike number one. Here comes the pitch from Brotherton. Big swing from Scantling on a high fastball for strike number two. No balls, 2 strikes. Camden Fairview with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. And Scantling lays off that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the Cardinal second baseman, Elijah Scantling. And that one is low and evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two count. Here comes the pitch from Brotherton. That one's down, and the count is now full. 3-2 now the count to Elijah Scantling. Brotherton looks in. He's got the sign he wants. And here's the kick and delivery on the payoff pitch, and that one's inside. And Scantling's going to draw the walk here to lead it off in the top of the second inning. Center fielder for the Cardinals now, number 10, Brody Dow, to the plate. Sun is rough out there. Big swing. Elijah Scantling is running, and he's got the stolen base. Big swing by Brody Dow on the hit and run, and that allowed Scantling to get down there. That even though he missed it, that was what they were wanting. That caused the catcher to have to hold up just a minute. Gave Elijah plenty of time to get down there, and the Cardinals with a runner in scoring position here early in the second inning. Timeout by the Monticello Billies. They have a meeting going on the mound. Looks like everybody is headed back to where they came from. Elijah headed back down to second base. Brody on his way back to the batter's box. No balls, 1 strike, no outs. We're in the top of the second inning. Camden Fairview leads it 1-0. And Elijah Scantling in scoring position now for the Cardinals. And Brotherton looks back. Nobody covering second, but he's still going to take a step. And Elijah with a fairly sizable lead over there at second base. Shortstop popping in and out on him, and that pitch is swung and missed, and Brody Dow's in the hole. 0-2 now to Brotherton. And here comes Brotherton with the delivery, and that one high in the zone. Brody Dow able to lay off, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strike count. Here comes the pitch, and Dow swings, hits that one high in the air, and it is in shallow right field, and the second baseman out to make the grab, and there's 1 away now for the Cardinals in the inning. Elijah Scantling retreats back to second base, and that's going to bring Jackson Wilson to the plate. First pitch to Jackson Wilson misses for ball 1. 1 away, top of the second inning. Camden Fairview leading Monticello 1-0. Elijah Scantling at second base for the Cardinals. And that one low, and the count to Jackson Wilson, 2 balls and no strikes. Aiden Zimmerman to follow Jackson Wilson and Charlie Lewis after that. 2 balls and no strikes. The count to the Cardinal third baseman, Jackson Wilson. Second baseman over there for the Billies creeping up, but he's going to retreat that pitch in for a strike. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike to Jackson Wilson. Cardinals put it in play here. They could go up another run. And that pitch is in for a strike, and the count now is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch from Brotherton, and that one is low. Wilson wanted to swing at it. He breaks his swing, and the count is full. 3-2 now to Jackson Wilson. Here comes the payoff pitch to Wilson, and that one is swung and missed, and Wilson goes down on strikes here for out number 2. Aiden Zimmerman now the batter for the Cardinals, starting over at first base tonight. And with a chance here to get something going for the Cardinals. They've got a man in scoring position. And Brotherton going to step off, fake the throw to second. Run Scantling back to the bag, no throw. And here comes the pitch, and fouled off over on the first base side. No balls and 1 strike to the Cardinal first baseman, Aiden Zimmerman. And fouls that one back into the glove, and Aiden in the hole here 0-2 with 2 outs in the top of the second inning. Cardinals trying to take advantage of a runner in scoring position. Yeah, on the shoulders of Aiden Zimmerman. Here's the pitch, and he hits the ball into left field, and it looks like the left fielder's under it for the catch. Cardinals leave one stranded, and nobody comes across. That is it for them in the top of the second inning. Going to the bottom of the second, Cardinals lead it 1-0. All right, bottom of the second inning for the Billies. Jackson Hines is your leadoff man. Zach Moorhead still on the mound for the Cardinals. And the first pitch on its way to Hines, and that's in. Thought about calling it a strike, and then he changed his mind, and it is 1 ball and no strikes to Hines. Moorhead looks in. He's got his sign. Here comes the pitch, and that one's in the dirt. And the count, 2 balls and no strikes. All right, the 2-0 pitch from Zach Moorhead, and that's in for a strike. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Bottom of the second, Cardinals lead it 1-0 here from Monticello. Opening day for both teams in the regular season. Beautiful day for baseball here in Monticello. Here comes the pitch from Moorhead, and that one outside, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike to Jackson Hines, the shortstop for Monticello. All right, Moorhead behind in the count. He looks in. Here comes the pitch, and that one's going to be high. And Hines is going to get the leadoff walk to start off the bottom of the second inning. Luke Facuri now to the plate. Monticello with a runner at first base in Jackson Hines. And the throw faked over to first base by Zach Moorhead. Hines back to the bag. And Zach comes set on the mound. Here comes the pitch, and it is low. 1 ball, no strikes to Luke Facuri. Big lead over at first by Hines. Zach Moorhead looks over before he gets set, and here is the delivery, and that one low. Nice job by Bostic to keep that one in front of him. And Zach Moorhead behind in the count, 3-0 now to Luke Facuri. Cardinals don't want Monticello to get these base runners here, especially the freeway. Here comes a square to bunt and throw down to first base by Drew Bostic. Runs Hines back to the bag. That pitch in for strike 1 as Facuri squared to bunt. Scoreboard showing 2-1. I do believe it is 3 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the delivery from Moorhead. Runner goes, throw down to second, and not in time. The count was 2-1 because now it is 3-1 on that one. And stolen base there for Hines. Gets runner in scoring position for Monticello. All right, 3-1 count. Here comes a pitch from Moorhead, and that pitch in for a strike. Nice off-speed delivery there from Moorhead. Catches the corner of the plate at the knees, and it is now a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Moorhead loved to get out of this batter with a strikeout here. and keep Hines down there at second base. Here comes the payoff pitch. And it's going to be high in the zone, and that's going to send Fakuri down to first base. And that's going to bring up the DH for Monticello. Luke Harrison. A lot of Lukes on this team. Cardinals with a timeout and meeting on the mound with pitch coach Todd Schroeder, Moorhead, and Bostic. And they're breaking up the gathering on the mound. Everybody headed back. Just trying to get Zach a opportunity here to catch his breath and talk about the pitches they're going to throw and how they're going to defend the runners they got on the base now. Monticello with runners at first and second, no outs in the bottom of the second inning. And the DH, Hairston, up for Monticello. That pitch low in the zone, and that is ball one to Hairston. That pitch gets by the catcher, and that's going to move runners down respectively to second and third base. Pitch in the dirt. Bostic couldn't come up with it, and that moves the runners around. All right, runners at second and third now for Monticello. No outs, 2-0 count to the Monticello DH, Hairston. All right, Zach Moorhead comes to the plate, and curveball. Hairston swings through that one, and the count now 2-1 strike. Sun comes back from behind home plate, throws a mean shadow across the infield here. And that one's hit, and that's going to be fielded by Jack Jeffers. Throw over to first in time, gets that out. One run does score. Luke Brotherton now the hitter for Monticello. Here comes the delivery from Moorhead, and that's another curveball in for strike one. One away in the ball game, or in the inning. Brotherton trying to help himself out here at the plate. Zach Moorhead trying to get out of the inning. That fastball inside, and the count even at 1-1 strike. Here comes the kick and the delivery, and nice curveball falls down in there, and Moorhead up 1-2 strikes to John Luke Brotherton. 1-2 strikes, one away, tie ball game here at the bottom of the second inning. Camden Fairview versus Monticello, and that one in the dirt bounces over the glove of the catcher and brings home another run for Monticello. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. And the pitch from Moorhead, that ball is hit. Jack Jeffers dives, fields it, throw over to first, stretch, and got him. Nice play by Jeffers, nice dig by Aiden Zimmerman, and they get Brotherton at first base. Nice play there by both Cardinals. Jeffers ranging over towards second base, dives, stops the ball, and gets up, throws Brotherton out at first base. Nice piece of baseball there for the putout. Lloyd now, the right fielder, up 2 away, 2-1 Monticello now, bottom of the second inning. And that pitch in the dirt, blocked by the catcher. And 1 ball, no strikes now to Lloyd. 1-0 pitch on the way from Zach Moorhead, and that one's misses low, just below the knees. And the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Zach trying to get this out. He's got men behind him to help him out. Here comes the pitch, and that one in for a strike, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. You don't have to strike out every one of them. Let them put it in play. Let your defense work for you. When you've got plays like Zimmerman and Jeffers made right then, you can definitely let your players behind you work. And that pitch hits him. And on the 2-1, that's going to send Lloyd down to first base. Lucas Caldwell. Here comes the pitch, and that was in for a strike to Caldwell. Big looping curves there from Zach Moorhead, and when they're good, they're good. When they're not, they're a little low. When they hit the dirt, they're hard to work with. Here comes the pitch, and that one's in the... Bostic having trouble throwing the ball down to second tonight. Even in warm-ups, he was tailing off to the right. Not sure what's going on with that, but that ball out into center field way wide of the base and allows the runner to advance down to third base. And that puts him 90 feet away from another run for the Billies. 1 ball, 1 strike. And looks like Cardinals wear an earpiece there for getting the pitch call in from the dugout, and looks like it flung out of the ear of Drew Bostic on the throwdown. All right, they found it. Pitchcom, that's the way of the world now. And the pitch is called in from the dugout to the ear of the catcher, and he relays it to the pitcher. All right, my phone rang there and it knocked us off the air. Here comes the pitch from Moorhead. Runner goes, and that one, again, not in time. Better throw there. It was on the money. TK Hoover is your hitter. And I'll be honest with y'all, when we got knocked off the air there, I kind of lost where we're at. It is 3-1. Monticello leads. We got runners at second base. That pitch misses, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes. We got 2 away. TK Hoover, the leadoff man for Monticello, is the batter. Moorhead just needs to settle down and pitch it in there. That pitch high. 3-0 now to TK Hoover. All right, 3-0 pitch, and that one, I'm not sure if that was ball 4 or if it hit him. And so Hoover down to first. Luke Reed, the batter now for Monticello. Runners at first and second for the Billies. They have a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the second inning. Cardinals just need 1 out to get out of the inning. And big swing there by Reed, and that's strike 1. A 1 ball, 1 strike count to Luke Reed, the Billy left fielder. Zach Moorhead looks in, and that pitch in, and he went, and it is 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Zach Moorhead 1 strike away from getting out of this inning and putting the Cardinals back at the plate. Moorhead kicks, delivers, and that one in the dirt. Good job there. Don't want to give him a ton of stuff to swing at on a 2-1 count. Give him enough to want to swing, and he was able to lay off. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Bottom of the second inning. Cardinals trying to get out of the inning. 3 runs scored here in the inning. And big swing and a strikeout, and Zach Moorhead gets out of the inning. Good job of coming back, getting out of the inning. Monticello leaves a couple on base. They get 3 across, and we're headed to the top of the third. Monticello leads at 3-1. All right, Zach Moorhead leading off the top of the third for the Cardinals. Swings at the first pitch, hits it foul. No balls, one strike. Here comes the pitch. It's outside and evens the count up 1-1 to Zach Moorhead. Top of the lineup for the Cardinals, Zach Moorhead, Jack Jeffers, Mari Utzi due up in the inning. And Moorhead hits that one. Second baseman fields it and throws over to first for the out. Jack Jeffers now the batter. Ground ball hit single in the first inning for Jack Jeffers. One away here, top of the third inning, and that pitch in to Jeffers off speed. Kind of a sidearm delivery there from Brotherton, and finds a strike zone, no balls and one strike. Here is the pitch. That one is outside, and Jeffers lays off one ball, one strike now to the Cardinal shortstop, Jack Jeffers. Here comes the pitch, and that one misses low and away. 2-1 the count now. Monticello leading the Cardinals 3-1. Cardinals with one run across in the top of the first. Monticello with three across in the bottom of the second. Jack Jeffers hits that one and just foul down the third base side. And that evens the count up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sun finally starting to set here. Here comes the pitch, and that one hits Jeffers in the back. Mariuzzi. Mariuzzi hits that one high in the air and over to field it. Swings on the first pitch. I believe that's TK Hoover over to. No, that was Hines. Jackson Hines over makes the catch. Jack Jeffers able to get back to first base. And that's 2 away now. Peyton Schroeder, the batter now for Monticello. And boys and girls, what I thought was a shadow across the camera this whole time is a zip tie. And Jack Jeffers down to second with a stolen base here and puts a runner in scoring position. It takes a MacGyver to get these cameras set up on these fences. And looks like my zip tie either slid up or my camera slid down. So we'll fix that for you here between the innings. And that pitch is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 away in the top of the third inning. Camden Fairview trailing 3-1. And that pitch outside, Schroeder laying off of it, and 3 balls and 1 strike now to Peyton Schroeder. Drew Bostic will follow Schroeder if he can get aboard here in the top of the third inning. And big swing and a miss, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Schroeder. They need Schroeder to get aboard here and give the Cardinals opportunity to score. Jeffers over there at second base. Need a hit, take a walk, whatever we can get to extend the inning here. And Brotherton ready for the payoff pitch. And Schroeder hits it high in the air. And it's going to be over and fielded by Hines on the pop-up in shallow left field. And that ends the inning for the Cardinals. They leave one. All right, Richard Dean Anderson would be proud. We literally used duct tape, zip ties, and Swiss Army knives to get this thing going here. And we got a little piece of it up in the top left corner, but my granddaddy used to say, son, we're not building a spaceship. That's as good as it's going to get. So, bottom of the third inning, and the Cardinals trailing it 3-1. Jeremiah Philly to lead it off here in the bottom of the third inning for Monticello. Cardinals trail 3-1. Charlie Lewis on the bump for the Cardinals now. First pitch in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Drew Bostic. Full moon in right field. Let's see if the Cardinals can use that full moon to their advantage here. That pitch in the dirt again to the backstop, and Philly ahead in the count 2-0. That pitch high and away, and Lewis behind in the count here. 3 balls and no strikes. And Philly going to draw a walk on 4 pitches there. Jackson Hines, the shortstop for Monticello, to the plate now. Monticello with a runner down at first base, no outs. Charlie Lewis just needs to settle in here and throws back over to first, and that one gets by Aiden Zimmerman, and Philly going to go down to second base on the throw over to first. Camden Fairview just needs to concentrate on the man at the plate, get settled in, throw strikes, let your defense work for you here. Still plenty of baseball left. No need to panic. And that pitch outside the zone, popped out of the glove of Drew Bostic. Philly thought about running, decided better of it, and a 1 ball, no strike count. Now, nobody out. We're in the bottom of the third inning. That pitch misses as well, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Opening day here for both teams of the regular season. Camden Fairview played a red-white game and a little round-robin mini tournament there last week, and ready to get the season going here. 4 games for the Cardinals this week. Be at home on Tuesday night, be at Parker's Chapel, I think, Thursday, and back home again on Friday. But we got to worry about the game in front of us now, and Cardinals are behind 3-1 here in the bottom of the third inning, and that pitch finds the strike zone. Good pitch there by Charlie Lewis, and the count now 3 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 3-1 pitch from Charlie Lewis, and that one just outside the zone. Good looking pitch. It just barely missed and puts Jackson Hines down at first base for Luke Cooey, the first baseman. Curry walked his first trip to the plate in the second inning. Pitching coach Todd Schroeder for the Cardinals out to the mound with Charlie Lewis and Drew Bostic. All right, squaring the bunt. He lays it down. Big bunt over to first base and puts runners at the corners. Laid down a nice bunt there. Did Luke Fakuri, and that puts runners at the corners. I'm sorry, that loads the bases. We still had another runner on run. Luke Harrison is your batter now. No outs, bases loaded. "4-1 your score now. Cardinals trail the Billies here, bottom of the third inning. Luke Harrison, the batter. Runners at second and third for Monticello. 4-1 your score. That ball hit hard, fielded by Scantling. He's going to get the out over at first base, but that brings another one across. Harrison with a fielder's choice RBI. Brings John Luke Brotherton to the plate for Monticello. 5-1 now your score. And that pitch, again in the dirt, bounces off the catcher and brings another one across for Monticello. All right. 1-1 strike. Brotherton, the batter for Monticello. Monticello up now 6-1. And that pitch hit. Jeffers fields it over at shortstop. Throw across the diamond stretch by Zimmerman and the out. Good. They're been a duo tonight. Nice job there. On the 6-3 put out. And 2 away in the inning. Lloyd now, I'm not sure if he said Tanner or Danner. First pitch to Lloyd in for a strike. And big swing on that one. And Charlie Lewis up in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 strike away. Let's get out of the inning and get the Cardinals back at the plate. And that ball hit hard into right field. Ground ball picked up by Mariuzzi back into the second baseman, Elijah Scantling. And good hit there by Lloyd. Line drive Bounced on the dirt out into right field. Hard hit baseball. Puts Lloyd on first base, and that brings the catcher Lucas Caldwell to the plate. And that pitch a little high and tight, not far off. 1 ball, no strikes. Monticello leading the Cardinals now 6-1. And that pitch in the dirt and bounces over the catcher. He's going to third and throw not in time. Puts Lloyd down at third base. All right, Cardinals need to settle in here. And big swing on that one. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. One more out here gets them out of the inning. And Caldwell hits that one high in the air into foul territory. Aiden Zimmerman over for the catch and out number 3. Monticello is going to leave one stranded, but they get 3 across here in the bottom of the third to go up 6-1. Cardinals headed to the plate for the top of the 4th inning coming up. All right, top of the 4th inning. Camden Fairview trailing Monticello 6-1. Due up in the inning, Drew Bostic, Elijah Scantling, Brody Dow. All right, I believe we lost our connection there for a minute. I think we're back live. 2 balls and no strikes to Drew Bostic. And that pitch over the head of Bostic, and it takes the count to 3 balls and no strikes. On the way to Bostic. That one's inside, and Drew draws the walk here to start the Cardinals off in the top of the fourth inning. Elijah Scantling going to be the batter here for the Cardinals. And running for the catcher, going to be Aiden Evans. And that pitch to Scantling, low and outside for ball one. Cardinals trying to get something going here. Top of the fourth inning, they trail 6-1. Scantling fouls that one back over the first base edge of the dugout into the parking lot. And the count is 1-1 strike to Elijah Scantling. Aiden Evans down on first, running for the catcher, Drew Bostic. And that pitch up in the zone. And the count now 2-1 strike. Brody Dow would be next, followed by Jackson Wilson. And that pitch hit into right field in the gap. They're going over and makes the catch. Elijah Scantling took it deep into right field, but they were able to come over and make up some ground. It was in the gap. Just hung in there a little too long for out number one. Dr. Pepper. And some. What are they? Brody Dow up now for Camden Fairview. One away. Cardinals have Aiden Evans down at first base trying to make up some ground on the Billies here. Top of the fourth inning, they trail 6-1. Full moon out there in right field. Let's see if the Cardinals can use it to their advantage. And throw back over, and Evans dives into the bag. Throw hits the fence, and Aiden Evans gets up and takes second base on the overthrow there to first base on the pickoff move. And that puts a runner in scoring position for the Cardinals. 1 out, 1 ball, no strikes to Brody Dow. Yeah, yep. And that pitch, a little high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. 3-0 count now to Brody Dow. And that one over the head of Dow, and he draws the walk, and that puts runners at first and second for the Cardinals, and Jackson Wilson to the dish. And Monticello going to have a timeout, and we may be getting a new pitcher for the Billies. And looks like the coach is going to take the ball from John Luke Brotherton. Not a bad outing. He leaves with a 6-1 lead here in the top of the fourth inning. So they're going to warm up a new pitcher. Looks like it's going to be number 14 coming into the game for Monticello. So we're going to take a break as they warm up the pitcher. All right, Bo Hammock on the mound now for Monticello. Jackson Wilson to the plate for the Cardinals. And Wilson swings at the first pitch, fouls it over to the first base side, and no play on the ball. No balls, one strike, one away. Aiden Evans stands down at second base for the Cardinals. They trail 6-1 here, top of the fourth inning. Here comes the pitch from Hammock. That's in for a strike. Fastball down the pipe, and Wilson behind 0-2 now with one away here in the top of the fourth inning. Cardinals trailing 6-1. And that pitch low and inside. A 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the delivery, off-speed curve, and outside the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Cardinal third baseman, Jackson Wilson. Aiden Zimmerman to follow. Charlie Lewis would be after Zimmerman here in the inning. And that went up around the chin, and the count's full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wilson spinning out of the way of the pitch. And he's going to draw the walk. All right, Cardinals with runners at first and second, and 1 out. Aiden Zimmerman to the plate. Here comes the pitch. Swings on the first pitch, pops it up, and just out of play. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and he hits it hard up the middle. That's going to be through the infield. And coming home to score for the Cardinals, Aiden Zimmerman brings home 2 runs there for the Cardinals with a base hit up the middle, and Camden Fairview on the board here in the top of the fourth inning. That pitch finds a strike zone. And Moorhead squares to bunt. One ball, 2 strikes. One out. And runners at first and second. Moorhead swings through that one for out number 2. Jack Jeffers to the plate now for the Cardinals. Bo Hammock with the sign he wants. He puts that one in the dirt. Nice block there by the catcher. Aiden Zimmerman down at first base. Jackson Wilson at second. Cardinals with a couple of runs across here in the top of the fourth inning. And like to put a couple more on the board here with runners in scoring position for the Cardinals. And Jack Jeffers at the plate. And that pitch is going to be low and away. And the count. And he hits that one off the. That is in no man's land. Nice job there by Jack Jeffers. He hit that one off the tip end of the bat over to first base, past the first baseman, fielded, but there was nobody home there. It was fielded by the right fielder, and nobody to throw it to. So Jack Jeffers, safe at home, moves the runners over to second and third. So Cardinals with the bases loaded, and Mariuzzi at the plate. We know what he can do. That pitch in misses for a ball. And Mari hits that one deep into center field. Just not going to have enough. The center fielder's under it. Cardinals strand 3, but they get 2 across here in the top of the fourth inning. And now they trail 6-3. All right, bottom of the fourth inning. TK Hoover to lead it off. Top of the lineup for Monticello. Hoover, Reed, and Philly up for Monticello. Charlie Lewis back on the mound for the Cardinals. And first pitch in for strike one to TK Hoover. Lewis looks in, gets a sign from the catcher, Drew Bostic. Kicks, delivers, and that ball hit hard past the diving, outstretched glove of Jack Jeffers. And Hoover's going to start the inning off with a single to left field. Line drive, hard hit baseball just out of the reach of Jack Jeffers, and Hoover on first base to start off the inning. Luke Reed now, the batter for Monticello. Lewis throws that one in just a little high. Good looking pitch, might have been just a tad high in the zone, and the count 1 ball, no strikes to Luke Reed. And there goes the runner. Bostic drops the ball on the exchange, and Hoover down to second with the stolen base. So just like that, Monticello with a runner in scoring position, no outs. Monticello leading the Cardinals here in the bottom of the fourth inning, 6-3. That pitch in for a strike. Nice pitch there by Lewis. Two balls, one strike to count, no outs, and a runner at second for Monticello. Lewis looks in, gets a sign, and the delivery, that one just a little low, and the count is 3-1 now to Luke Reed, the Billy left fielder. And here comes that pitch, and boy, Lewis is hitting all around it. They look like good pitches from here, just off the plate, and Reed draws the walk. Jeremiah Philly now to the plate for the Cardinals, or I'm sorry, for the Billies, and timeout called by the Cardinals. And Todd Schroeder, Drew Bostic walking out to talk with Charlie Lewis. All right, Charlie Lewis coming set. Everybody on the same page. Billy squares the bunt. That bunt goes straight back to Lewis, and the throw to first, and not sure what happened there. Lewis made the throw over to the covering Elijah Scantlin, and I'm not sure why he wasn't out, but the umpire called him safe, so that bunt loads the bases. Jackson Hines now. And he hits that one into center field. Brody Dow over under it. Now he's throwing home, and the long fly ball scores a run. Brody Dow gets it back in to the infield with a big throw, but Monticello gets a run across on the sac fly by Jackson Hines. Luke Facuri now the batter for Monticello. And that pitch high, Drew Bostic comes up out of his stance, snags it out of the air, keeps everybody in their spots. Monticello with runners at second and third, one away. And that ball fouled over the press box in the first base dugout, and that evens the count up. All right, Luke Facuri, your batter. Monticello runners at second and third base. They put one across in the inning, one away. Charlie Lewis throws that one in there just a little low, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. And that pitch misses high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Luke Facuri. Charlie Lewis comes set. He fires it in there. Strike on the inside edge of the plate and runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Facuri was ready to take a walk down to first base. And that pitch paints the outside edge of the plate for a strike. And Charlie Lewis comes with the payoff pitch. That one's in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, and loads the bases again for Monticello. And time called by Coach Austin Trail, 7-3. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, and pitching change. All right, Brody Dow, the new pitcher for the Cardinals. Luke Harrison in the batter's box for Monticello. Bases full of Billies. And one away in the inning. Monticello with one run across here in the bottom of the fourth inning. They lead it 7-3. And nice job by Drew Bostic to snag that one. And the count shows 1 ball, 1 strike. Brody Dow, the third pitcher of the night for the Cardinals. And that curveball just missed. Good looking pitch there. 2-1. Comes a delivery by Dow. Reached down and got that one. Underhand to the second baseman, Elijah Scantling. And Scantling just a little behind on the throw to first. And they don't turn the double play. Had the chance, but they get an out. Monticello does get a run across. 2 away. Bo Hammock, the pitcher for the Billies, digs in at the plate. 2 away, 8-3, Monticello lead. And swinging a foul ball. Harrison moved down to second base uncontested on the last pitch. And Dow just off the plate on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. Monticello leading 8-3 here, bottom of the fourth inning. From Monticello, Arkansas. And that one outside, Drew Bostic reaches across his body, snags that one to keep everybody put out in the field. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that pitch down the pipe evens the count up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the fourth inning, Brody Dow trying to get out of the inning here for the Cardinals. That one low and away and runs the count full, 3-2. Here comes the pitch from Dow and strikes him out. Drop third strike. Drew Bostic throws down to first base, gets the out. Cardinals get out of the inning. Monticello leaves 2 stranded. They get 1 across. It is 8-3 here going into the top of the fifth. All right, top of the fifth inning here from Monticello, Arkansas. Number 25, Peyton Schroeder, the designated hitter for the Cardinals tonight. Cardinals looking to get something going here. They trail 8-3. First pitch outside to Schroeder. And that pitch hits Schroeder and puts him on the base. All right, Drew Bostic up now for the Cardinals. Drew walked his last trip to the plate. And that pitch in for a strike. And that one outside, and the count even 1-1 strike. And Drew Bostic take that one to center field and caught by the center fielder for the Billies for out number one. He took it for a ride, just hangs up in that heavy air out there, and not enough on it. Elijah Scantling to the plate now for the Cardinals, and that curveball stays up high from Bo Hammock for ball one. Peyton Schroeder down at first base for the Cardinals. One away here in the top of the fifth inning. Cardinals trailing 8-3. And big swing by Scantling through that one. 1-1 strike. Brody Dow waits on deck for the Cardinals. And that one off the handle of the bat for a foul ball. No swing. Elijah trying to defend himself a little bit there, and that hits the bat, and that's going to be a strike. 1-2 strikes. Here comes a pitch from Hammock, and Elijah swings through that one for out number two of the inning. Brody Dow now to the plate for the Cardinals. Peyton Schroeder still down at first base. A 1-1 strikes. Two away here, top of the fifth inning. Cardinals trailing the Billies 8-3. Time called by the catcher. Caldwell runs out to put him and Bo Hammock on the same page here. All right, 1-0 strikes to Brody Dow. And Brody hits that one over to shortstop. The throw over and off the glove of the first baseman. And Dow's going to be safe at first base. Peyton Schroeder moves over to third, and that puts runners at the corners for the Cardinals here with 2 outs in the top of the fifth inning. Jackson Wilson now to the plate for the Cardinals. And that pitch inside to Wilson. 1 ball, no strikes. Cardinals with 2 outs, but runners at the corners. And trying to get a little something going here in the top of the 5th. That ball away. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes to Jackson Wilson. Aiden Zimmerman would follow Wilson. And that pitch inside on the hands, throw down to second base, bounces away, and Peyton Schroeder going to come home to score. Peyton Schroeder with a little stumble tried to skip out of the way of the catcher's helmet, I think, and got bit by the turf monster. He comes across, scores a run. That's all that matters. Cardinals now 8-4. The score here, top of the 5th inning. And that pitch misses outside, and Wilson goes down to first on the walk, and that brings Zimmerman up for the Cardinals. And trying to keep it going here. And that one low and away. Aiden Zimmerman lays off, and 1 ball, no strikes. The count. 2 outs in the inning. Cardinals with a run across. They've got 2 base runners, one at first, one at second base. And Zimmerman swings through that off-speed pitch there. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Looked like a changeup from Bo Hammock and crossed Aiden up there. Big swing. And comes back with a fastball. Aiden fouls that one back to Zach Moorhead waiting on deck. And the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aiden Zimmerman trying to put the ball in play. Need a base hit here. Bring Brody Dow around from second. Keep things going here in the inning for the Cardinals. And that pitch high, Aiden, he wanted to, but he laid off. Good job to lay off that high pitch there. Man, those come across, they look good. They're eye high. But you got to lay off of them. Aiden did a great job of laying off that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. And that pitch up high again above the letters runs Aiden off the plate there, a little bit of inside. And the count 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Payoff pitch now on the way from Bo Hammock. And Zimmerman swings through it. Hammett gets the strikeout. Cardinals leave 2 stranded. They get 1 run across. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th. 8-4. All right, Danner Lloyd leading it off for the Billies here, top or bottom of the fifth inning. Brody Dow on the mound for the Cardinals. Cardinals trailing 8-4. They get one run across here in the top of the fifth. If they can shut the Billies down here, they come back and put some more runs on the board and make a ball game out of this here in the later stages of the game. That pitch in for strike one to Danner Lloyd. And that one in the dirt, knocked down by Drew Bostic, and the count is 1-1 strike. 1-1 the count. Bottom of the fifth inning, Cardinals trailing 8-4. And that pitch in for a strike. Nice looking pitch there by Brody Dow. 1-2 strikes is your count. To the leadoff hitter for the Billies in the bottom of the fifth inning, Danner Lloyd. Brody Dow's got the sign. He is going to kick and deliver. That curveball stays high. 2-2 count now to Lloyd. Here comes the pitch from Dow. It is low and runs the count full 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strike count. Here comes the payoff pitch from Brody Dow, and fouled back out of play by Lloyd. So we'll do it again, 3-2 the count. Lloyd leading it off here in the bottom of the fifth inning for the Billies. Brody Dow spins, kicks, and here comes the delivery, and it is just misses off the edge of the plate. And Dow loses him, and we're going to have the first base runner of the inning for the Billies. Lucas Caldwell now for the Billies. Danner Lloyd down at first base. He not afraid to take off and head towards second from what we've seen earlier in the game. And first pitch misses outside to Caldwell. 1 ball, no strikes, no outs. Bottom of the fifth inning here from Monticello. They lead it 8-4 over the Cardinals. Brody Dow kicks, delivers that ball in the dirt. Drew knocks it down, but it gets away from him off to the left-hand side, and Lloyd moves down to second base. Two balls, no strikes. And big swing through that fastball, and that's 2 balls and 1 strike count now to Danner Lloyd. Or I'm sorry, Lucas Caldwell. Danner Lloyd's at second base. Here comes the pitch from Dow. Changeup misses low. And that was a good looking pitch. Just a hair below the knees, and it is a 3-1 count now to Lucas Caldwell. And that pitch is going to hit in the dirt, bounce away, and puts runners at the corners for the Billies. Brings TK Hoover to the plate. Todd Schroeder out to the mound, brings the infield in. A little talk with Brody Dow just to settle him in, give him a breather there for just a minute. Give the infield an opportunity here to get on the same page. All right, TK Hoover, first pitch to him, in for a strike. Pinch runner for Caldwell, not sure, can't see the number out there. Moves down to second base, uncontested on the pitch there. And Hoover fouls that one back out of play, and he's in the hole 0-2. Monticello with runners now at second and third, no outs. And that pitch again away brings another run across. One ball, two strike count to TK Hoover. And the Cardinals trail now 9-4. And that pitch by Dow misses high. 2-2 count. Cardinals can pull this thing together. That pitch hit. Jack Jeffers knocks it down, hits him in the chest, and that's going to be TK Hoover safe over at first base, and another run home for the Billies. Luke Reed now, the left fielder, to the plate from Monticello, and Brody Dow throws over to first. Ball goes over to the fence, and it's going to send Reed over to, I'm sorry, that's TK Hoover over to third base. Cardinals need to dig in here and get the man at the plate. Can't give them runs, can't give them bases. Got to dig in and get the man out at the plate. That pitch misses high, and now one ball, no strike count to Luke Reed. And that pitch misses. Drew Bostic throws down to third over the head of the third baseman into left field, and that brings TK Hoover home to score. Cardinals are giving runs away here tonight. 11-4 now the count in the game. And that pitch misses low and inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. And that pitch Misses on the outside, and the count is 3 balls, 1 strike. No outs. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. Monticello with 3 across in the frame so far. Brody Dow spins, kicks, and that one's low and inside, and that's going to walk Luke Reed. Jeremiah Philly to the plate now for Monticello. And runner goes. Philly squares to bunt. No throw to Reed. Now stands in scoring position for Monticello down at second. And Jeremiah Philly stands at the plate. Curveball. And looks like not on the same page with the pitcher and the catcher there. I'm not sure that's what he was expecting. 2-0 count. Cardinals trail 11-4. And the pitch by Dow, that one is up high. Time called by the catcher. Going to walk out, give the ball to Brody Dow, and him and Drew going to get on the same page. They spend a lot of time together on the football field. Drew's the center, snaps the ball to Brody, and now Brody's throwing it to him. So a little talk out there, get them settled down. To Jeremiah Philly, that ball's in the dirt, blocked by Bostic, and Jackson Hines now to the plate. Runners at the corners for the Billies. No outs here. Bottom of the 5th inning. 3 runs across in the frame for the Billies. They lead 11-4. And nice job. Drew Bostic blocks the ball. Hines goes down to, Philly goes down to second base, uncontested, with runners at the corners and the ball there in the dirt, no play on it. 1-0 count to Jackson Hines. That pitch misses, and now we've got a 2-0 count. Settle in, throw strikes. And Drew Bostic blocks that one. At this point, I believe Brody Dow is a little frustrated and he's overthrowing. He's got to settle down. And that is a walk on 4 straight. All right, Luke Facuri up now for Monticello. Bases are loaded for Monticello, no outs, 3 runs across in the inning. And Brody, first pitch hits Facuri, and that's going to bring a run across. have a pitching change here. All right, new pitcher for the Cardinals is going to be Jack Jeffus. And going to do a little changing up in the field here. We're going to take a break while Jeffus. All right, Jack Jeffus on the bump now for the Cardinals. 12-4 your score. Cardinals trail the Billies. And first pitch in for a strike to number 2, Luke Harrison. And that pitch inside off the glove, and that's another run across for Monticello. $13-4 your score now. And Jeffus curveball stays above the letters. 2 balls, 1 strike to number 2, Luke Harrison. And that pitch misses, 3 balls and a strike. And that one's high. And there's a walk there. Loads the bases again for Monticello with no outs here in the inning.
Next batter, number 14, Bo Hammett.
Brings Bo Hammock to the plate. Hines, Fakuri, and Hairston on base. That pitch swung and fouled out of play. By Bo Hammock. And fouls that one off the other way, first base side, and Hammock in the hole 0-2. 13-4 your score here. Camden Fairview has let this one get away from them. Just missed outside. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bo Hammock. And checks his swing on that one. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two count. And that one hits him. And that's going to bring another run in for the Billies. And that's the game. Monticello over the Cardinals 14-4 in a run rule here in the 5th inning. Got a JV game scheduled. We'll see if that happens here just shortly.